Do you feel like you're doing everything right, but you still can't get your freaking scale to move? You eat less? Who cares? You move more? Good for you, but no goal. You track every last crumb that you put into your mouth, and your scale still has the nerve to look you directly in the eyes and tell you that you gained weight. Putting so much work only to feel like your scale is having a good laugh at your expense is the worst. And it's a feeling that I know all too well after regaining 50 of the 100 pounds I lost with keto and fasting. But the good news is, after struggling for 2 years, I uncovered 10 hidden reasons that I wasn't losing weight despite my best efforts. And trust me, if I can lose 40 pounds after nothing else worked, busting through these hidden reasons can work for you too. The first hidden reason I wasn't losing weight is I was eating out way too often. Now, I'm not alone, since 1/3 of Americans eat out every day. If you're among those who eat out often, maybe you feel good about your decision because you choose healthy options like a salad or a bunless burger. But I soon learned that just because something is marketed as healthy, that doesn't mean that I couldn't easily overeat it, especially when some restaurant salads have more than 1,600 calories. And those bunless burgers aren't much better. Like my favorite Cheesecake Factory bacon cheeseburger that clocks in at 1,680 calories. Granted, that does include the bun, but I was still likely eating close to 1,500 calories even without the bun. And that doesn't include the handful of fries that I snacked on while indulging in my burger. And that's only part of the story when it comes to why I couldn't get my scale to budge whenever I found myself eating out too often. As high as the calorie counts are on restaurant menus, the truth is, I was probably eating even more. While a restaurant's nutrition info gets you in the ballpark, they're still allowed up to a 20% variance from what's listed. So that could mean that my 1,600 calorie salad was really closer to 2,000 calories. Plus, who knows how closely the teenager who's making my food pays attention to serving sizes and recipes. A few extra ounces of dressing slapped on here, or another tablespoon of oil added to cooking there, and those calories add up. Speaking of extra calories from sauces and oils, liquid calories are another hidden reason that I wasn't losing weight. If you're a dieting pro like me, then you already know to avoid liquid calories from juices, sodas, and yes, even alcohol, in order to keep calories down. But what about the not so obvious liquid calories like a little cream in your coffee or a squeeze of honey in your tea? Because if you're not counting those calories, please understand that your body is. And if you're having several cups of coffee or tea per day, those calories can really add up to a weight loss stall. While I'm not much of a coffee or tea drinker, liquid calories were still wreaking havoc on my waistline. And that's because my liquid calories of choice came in the form of protein shakes. Now, I know what you're thinking. But aren't protein shakes healthy? Well, yes and no. Yes, protein shakes can be a great way to supplement your diet, especially if you're unable to reach your protein target with whole natural foods. And they're also a great way to get more nutrients that you might not otherwise get. But if your goal is to lower calories in the name of weight loss, the one thing I eventually learned is that protein shakes aren't the most satiating way to do that. Since my body doesn't have to go through the same effort to break down liquid protein, well, my staple morning protein shake isn't as satiating as if I were to eat a high protein meal. So even though I keep protein shakes as part of my plan, I do this with the understanding that I'd likely be less hungry on a lower calorie diet if I swap my shake for another high protein meal. Speaking of constant hunger, when I first got back into the swing of things, I was always hungry because I thought I had to keep lowering calories in order to keep my scale moving. Eventually, I got to a place where I couldn't go any lower without the nagging urge to gnaw off my hand because I was so freaking hungry. But then I learned that while it's true that eating less calories than you burn is the key to weight loss, I was way too focused on the calories in part of the equation while not paying enough attention to the calories out portion. But here's the kicker. Squeezing in more intense cardio was making things worse. That's because whenever you drop calories, your body drops your metabolism to compensate. This process was put into place long ago to help us survive famines. A few ways you might burn less calories is maybe you blink less, or maybe you hang out on the couch longer with less bathroom breaks, even if you really have to go. And I know this is due to your body compensating because watching three sisters shaking salads isn't really that interesting. So while adding more scheduled activity could be a great step for some, when I first added cardio, I way overdid it. And this meant I spent more time chilling out on my couch later in the day instead of getting things done, like cleaning my house. So the 30 minutes I spent busting it out on the bike, maybe I burned 200 calories. Now that I tired myself out, sure, I burned 200 calories, but I traded that for the 400 or 500 calories I may have spent being more active the other 15 hours that I'm awake. Plus, my calories in always went up because I felt like I deserved a treat anytime I hit cardio hard. But once I swapped intense cardio for moderate activities like cleaning my house or taking a brisk walk, the scale finally began cooperating. And the good news is, adding more moderate walks, especially earlier in the day when I also got in some early morning sunlight, helped me with the next hidden reason that I wasn't losing weight. When my scale blew up 50 pounds, one thing I noticed was my sleep sucked. While I could fall asleep easily, if anything woke me up, I'd be tossing and turning for hours. Or sometimes nothing woke me up. Sometimes I'd just be up, ready to start my day at 2 or 3 in the morning. One thing I learned long ago is if you're not allowing your body the rest and recovery time it needs through a good night's sleep, then it's nearly impossible to lose weight. It doesn't matter how little you eat or how much you exercise. If you're not sleeping, then you're not losing. But adding in more moderate activity while fueling my body appropriately was the key to a good night's sleep. And getting a good night's sleep was key in helping with the next hidden reason that I wasn't losing weight, and that was controlling stress. While some stress is a good thing, and it's even necessary for the body composition changes that I wanted, too much stress is enough to stop the scale from moving completely. Even though I wanted to believe that all I had to focus on for consistent weight loss was moving more and eating less, I soon learned that stress alone is enough to slow down your metabolism. But even beyond my body's uncontrollable reaction to stress, I also had to contend with my reaction to stress. As in, too much stress made me feel bad. And you want to know whatever I did when I felt bad? I ate. And I wasn't eating the kind of food that helps me reach my goals. So that's where activities like getting more sunlight and more walking come in handy, because they help bring stress down. But I also had to focus on things most people wouldn't even think of when trying to lose weight. I had to quit keto and intermittent fasting completely, which are two methods I originally turned to for weight loss. Turns out, when I followed keto and fasting for too long, they became too stressful for my hormones to handle. And this stress surfaced in the form of headaches, fatigue, and a whole lot of weight gain. So even though some dietary tools like keto and fasting might be appropriate for the stage of weight loss you're in, keep in mind that they're not the right tools for everyone forever. Some of us need a more gentle approach, which I've personally found with a flexible diet. And that's it, the final hidden reason that I wasn't losing weight. Except that's only 5 reasons, and I promised you 10. The good news is you can find the other 5 hidden reasons that I wasn't losing weight right here in this video.